Well, you've got my number, and you can see my ugly mug right in front of you. There's no use playing dumb, I suppose. Agreed. You've seriously spent all these weeks holed up in here? Is the hunger not getting to you? Got a lot of critters around this area. And, we've become chums. Some of these rats actually got addicted to the kiss. They come to me every night acting like coke hounds, begging for it. They're getting them drunk. Just to get some rush out of feeding them. Feels a bit like slathering a horribly burned piece of pizza in ketchup. But in this situation, I'll take what I can get. You dig? It's so gross, I fail to keep my poker face. He notices. So who's the dame? Julia Sawinski, a detective investigating Baron Callahan's death. He raises his head for a short while to stare in Kadir's eyes and greet him with a vulgar snicker. Phooey, somebody has finally put the old man on ice. Whoever did it did the world a huge favor. Absolutely, but I got orders to establish who that was, and I've been stumbling in the dark for the past few days. We need your help. I'll be damned. Your sleuth skills must really not be up to par if you're begging a bum for help. An unusual case? How so? It's extremely political. I asked, how's it unusual? Feels like the game is rigged against me from the start, like I'm just bumbling around and achieving nothing while everyone laughs behind my back. Geez, you sound hopeless, kid. Haven't you ever read a Chandler book? That's how it always is. Just do your best. Endure the embarrassment and hope that you stumble on the answer by accident. Yet he accidentally lets a metal flask in his hand slip out and fall to the floor. And struggles to pick it up. Kadir can't bear to watch. God, what happened to you, Gianni? Never seen you this low before. Stress-related disorders causing a disruption in my routine is what I think a shrink would say. Happens when a lot of shady folks are out to put a stake through your chest. Help us out. Tell us what you know. We might be able to help you in return. Yeah, respect was due, miss, but I think it's gonna be the other way around. I ain't telling the two of you shit, pardon my French, till I know I can count on some protection. Gianni. Don't you Gianni me, Al-Qadir Azmai. This fucking text is bothering me so much. I know your level, but I also know that your honor is one of the few things you care about. You want me to endanger myself? You put it on the line for me. And that's that. You either promise to extend your protection to me, or the moment you step away from here, I sneak away into the sewers, and that's the last time you'll ever see me. Kadir shoots a weary sideways glance. I know. It drives a hard bargain. Especially for someone whose sense of self-worth does not exactly appear to be sky high at the moment. Maybe. But I do value my own life quite a lot. Thank you very much, friends. Kadir sighs. Alright. 3 months from now, or the moment Prince Panhard tells me it's no longer possible for the court to offer you safety without compromising its principles, you're on your own. No negotiations. That's the only deal I can strike with you. Take it or leave it. Angelo scratches his head and grunts loudly. Tugs on his mask and stands up. That's Jake with me, big fella. I might have strong opinions about Panhard, but hell, I'm sitting on dynamite. I'll take what I can get. Who else in New York would you rather rely on? You want me to call the mayor? My opinions about the prince aren't that bad. So, what do you good folks want from me? Who wants you dead? Ah, starting the interrogation with a tricky one. Wouldn't I like to know? Step up, Gianni. You seem to be forgetting how quid pro quo works. Wouldn't I like to know? Won't cut it. What can I tell you? That warlock, Agathian, or whatever his name is, presumed dead. Tamika, MIA, with SI on her back. But possibly KIA, by now. Hope the kook, hidden in her office under Vander Weyden's skirt. Around the time they started having trouble, some rough-looking streetwise kindred started hanging out at my usual spot. Didn't take me long to connect the dots. Wait, what's the connection between you and those three? Ever since last year, folks started hiring us for various gigs. Some even trying to get us to join their coteries. All these opportunities were rather short-lived. However, the delicate tightrope act of working for various employers made us fully aware. There's an intrasect alliance in NYC. Kindred from both sides often work for the same goals without knowing it. The moment we started figuring it all out, the cleanup crew went downtown. I know the serious warlock boy sniffed something out in his own backyard, but then, oof, he disappeared. Then, I lost all contact with Hope and Tamika and went AWOL. Hope they're doing fine, and they didn't snitch on me to anybody. They are. They didn't even tell me you guys knew each other, so I think you're safe. Huh, wait a second. Why were you milking him for intel, kiddo? I found a list of 4 names on Callahan's remains. You can probably guess what they were. I get the picture, yeah. Christ almighty. I've heard it was just a list of freelancers, potential associates, probably prepared by Carter Vander Weyden. My money's on him being involved, but I smell bullshit. You got any idea who might have done the boss in? Lose? None at all. That's why we want you to come in, friend. Investigate the murder scene. The way only you know how. Tell us what you think. Guide Julia in the proper direction. D'Angelo sizes me up, scratching his head. Sure, whatever. I will try my best, kiddo. Lead the way. I'll drive you there, or at least as close as possible. I wouldn't be welcome that deep in Anarch territory. Just clean yourself up a bit, Gianni. I just had my upholstery cleaned earlier this week. After dropping us off at the same place Catherine first introduced me to Maya. Kadir quickly drives away. Here we are. Swell. Classic closed room mystery. Let me take a look. Starts walking around the office, carefully taking in every element. So you're saying you're basically a nobody, but you can simply call Catherine Weiss and have her open sesame and Anarch crib for you. No. It sounds like somebody to me. Don't misunderstand, I only met her during the course of this investigation. Everyone's basically been treating me like dirt wherever I go. I'm only acknowledged enough to legitimize this sham. Lord Castlereagh. Now that was an abrupt interruption. I was busy sharing, damn it. Excuse me? Pointing at the painting to the man overseeing this entire office. I met murder on the way. He had a mask like Castlereagh. Very smooth. He looked, yet grim. 7 bloodhounds followed him. He seems to have completely switched his modus operandi upon seeing the murder scene. He's in his own little world, and his behavior has become more machine-like, erratic. Still don't follow. I never knew the old Irish coot was into the Napoleonic era, but then again, I have no idea about his exact age, of course, so maybe that's when he lived, or was born. Anywho. Pay minimal attention to me, alright? Who am I looking at here? Right. That's one Lord Castlereagh, born as Robert Stewart, a British Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs at the beginning of the 18th century. Incredibly influential. Incredibly hated. Ask one fella about Castlereagh and he'll tell you. He was the man who destroyed Napoleon for good, the man who shaped British politics for ages, the man who built foundations for European unity at Vienna. Ask another fella and he'll tell you he was the man who destroyed the Irish Parliament, the man who cracked down on any possibility of reform, and then supported the cavalry massacring peaceful protesters. He's spouting these facts like a computer. Is that the hint of a detective's photographic memory? I have to say, it's downright perverted for an Irishman to put up Castlereagh's portrait in his office. Definite proof that our victim was sick in the head. As if we needed more evidence there. Probably idolized him too. Maybe identified with him. Yeah, that's possible. Callahan and his ilk adore those jagoffs who strive to reach across the aisle and achieve hard compromises. Text speed slow. Too bad nobody else ever remembers them well. I feel like I should say something. I've got this nagging feeling in the back of my mind. Yeah, I guess it makes sense for him to have a role model like that, doesn't it? Oppressing his own people, claiming it was all in their name, when at the end of the day or night, they were back in the shitter and he was still on top? Yeah, sure sounds familiar. 200 years later, all these societal changes, and it still works the same for us kindred? It's a cheery thought. Not just the kindred. That's still how this world works, period, kiddo. Napoleon or Bourbon Restoration, communism or capitalism, Manhard or Callahan. Once the bourgeois establish themselves, you gotta completely reset the rules of the game, and a few years later, do it again, and again, and again, until you're dead, or better than dead. That doesn't sound fine by you. You can always join folks like old boss here, or accept this invisible noose that's getting tighter around your neck every single night. He stops above Callahan's corpse and laughs. Posterity will never survey a nobler grave than this. Here lie the bones of Castlereagh. Stop, traveler, and piss. And he kicks his bones with glee, causing me to jump a little. He's still under the influence? Isn't that tampering with the crime scene? Kiddo, as far as I can see, this crime scene has been fucked with 3 times over. Can't really been ruined more than it already has. I agree, but it looked about the same the last time I was here. Then it was already a total mess before you ever got here. Whatever. Standing by the metal shutters on the windows, he abruptly changes the topic. Lightproof. You toyed with these? No. In general, I would avoid machinery like that. It doesn't like me, and I don't like it. They don't like you. They don't work properly. It's like I give technology an allergy. Sometimes industrial? Oh, sometimes industrial cameras mess up my face. Sometimes I can't use a phone. You'd think it could be useful, but it's just a curse. I see, you think these blinds could have been the murder weapon? How so? Let me explain. Let's say for some reason our stiff was standing there as the sun was rising. Maybe staring at old Paul Castlery, looking for a soulmate to accompany him on the other side. Yet another guy pushes to suicide. Yet another guy pushed to suicide by politics. Pretty old school, romantic, yada yada. Or maybe it was torpor. Maybe it was a freak accident. Maybe it was premeditated. Ooh. In any case, sunlight would be a perfect murder weapon, no? He takes off the mask to shoot a disfigured smile my way. Well, that's just a theory anyway. Well, it sounds sound. Does it? Because I was just spitballing. Practically impossible to make certain now, kiddo. The most logical cause of final death would be damage to the heart. That can easily be done without damage to the skeleton. And he sets off with a wink. What is he playing at here? The safe. Anyone made a crack at it yet? As far as I know, only Callahan knew the code, and the safe itself is pretty hard to crack. Watch me, kiddo. Presses an ear to the safe and slowly begins to rotate the dial. Stop clowning around, you're a safe cracker now? When you're cursed with a countenance such as mine, you decide on a job such as mine, you gotta be a jack of all trades. Yeah, but it still sounds pretty hard. Last year, there's a random fella visiting a heritage museum in Alberta. Found a safe that hadn't been opened in 40 years. Not a single specialist, nor even a blacksmith could have handled it. Man just studied the numbering, listened closely to the mechanism, attempted the most sensible combinations, and voila. The unthinkable happened. That's where just trusting the instinct leads ya. Too bad he found nothing inside but an old pay sheet. A metallic screech, the doors open. I'll be damned. And it looks like we've got the same case here. Confetti. A few random papers scattered around. For what it's worth, the lock has obvious traces of mechanical manipulation, probably recent too. Reeks of foul play. But what do we know for sure, really? I'm done here. You can take over. Another wink. Another walk in a random direction. I look inside the safe. Quite spacious. I haphazardly grab everything that's left inside the safe and hide it on my person, then close the door so nobody knows. Well, he managed to crack it. No, nobody knows he managed to crack it. When I turn around, he's motioning me to come closer to a sheet of paper lying on the desk. So yeah, kiddo, you probably know the entire beeswax about Schrodinger's cat, so I'm not gonna bore you with that. But honestly, could have happened anything could have happened here. I read the text he's written on the empty page. This place is wired. buzz. Gives me the chills. I think I'm okay. I've tried to record my own voice a bunch of times on different hardware just to see if I can. It mostly comes out as noise. He nods, starts scribbling something else as he continues blabbering on and on. The best strategy would be to make an educated guess about what happened here, then interrogate everyone about it. Maybe you'll take someone by surprise, drop a hook on them. The wiretap is a chip in the broken glass bottle on the floor. Absolutely sure it belongs to Kaiser. Kaiser, the elusive information broker, talk of the city. Finally, an excuse to nab him. I understand. I think I have an idea how to use it to find him. Should I notify Kadir? Takes longer than before. Oh yeah, I'll be meeting up with Kadir. You stay here, sister. Maybe there's something you've been missing. Your call, doll. You're going beyond his jurisdiction, so he will try to stop you. Whatever you do, just give me a 10-minute heads up, you know? So I can get to relative safety. For sure. It's back into the sheriff's custody for me. See you around, Julia. This old codger couldn't have been more help. Whatever I got was plenty. See you around, D'Angelo. Got a plan. Now all I need is to execute it. Oh, now all I need to execute it is a clueless bystander. This guy will do. Do you, need me for anything else? Not really. Better take a hike before the guy you've just called shows up. I can't guarantee he won't make you hurt. I can't guarantee he won't... Oh yeah. Make you hurt. Will do. Puts his head down and obediently trots away down the street. Might have messed with his head a little too much using my wily kindred charms, but I needed him to tell Kaiser where I want to meet. Quite clearly. Multiple times. I would have given him the kiss as a thanks, but I told the big man I won't be here all night, and that he'd better hurry up. So I want to be ready whenever he comes. Less than 15 minutes later, a menacing black limo takes a fast, sharp turn onto my street and stops right in front of me. Suddenly, something like an acid flashback hits me. I know this limo. I've seen it all around the past few days, but never thought it might be tailing me. Still, must have. Looks like I'm finally about to get some answers. Doors open and a raspy voice comes from inside. Get the fuck in, Sawinski. I smile and accept the invitation. There he is, Kaiser, the king of New York City's information highways, surrounded by screens, speakers, and newfangled technological gizmos of all kinds. First impression? He's one repulsive son of a bitch. D'Angelo was a sewer rat, and he might have had similar physical disadvantages, but at least he was wholly endearing. But this guy, there's no room for any kind of sentiment. He's inhumanly cold, and I get the feeling he's been like this for ages. You're getting on my nerves, lady. And I'm far from being the only one. I get the sense he meant for all this to be threatening. Instead, I'm elated. After a week of running around like a headless chicken, unsure if I was getting anywhere, finally I get a compliment. If there's one thing I learned back in Lodestar, it was that you only know you're doing your job correctly when someone powerful gets visibly mad. Escalate. It can escalate. And there's a lot of expensive shit here you probably wouldn't want me to break. Ah, yes. I did hear you and Tech don't get along. Is that why you left that mess down in the double spiral basement? He scoffs at me with pure contempt. Listen, I will speak as plainly as humanly possible to get this through your little head. Since it's obvious you're not willing to read the obvious signals. You were hired for one thing, and one thing only, little lady, to suck at your job. And you couldn't even do that correctly. People keep stopping by my limo this week, telling me, Kaiser, dear Kaiser. We keep trying to make her understand how hopeless she is, but she just won't get a clue. She doesn't have any evidence. She doesn't have any testimony. She still goes around knocking on everyone's doors, causing disturbances. Such a fucking headache. Usually, I try to be a jovial host, though I cheer them up. She's not that much of a dunce, I say. She's making mountains out of molehills to make herself seem useful, I say. She's about to stop. But you, in your infinite idiocy, decided to prove me wrong in the most spectacular fashion by knocking on my own very door, forcing my hand, threatening me even. Oh my god. The writing in this game is a little intense sometimes. Are you autistic or something, huh? Can't read basic fucking social cues? Stop for 1 second and ask yourself, cui bono? I don't know. Who even fucking wants you to solve anything, let alone this case? The city has a delicate system set in place. Usually it's flawless. But ever since you started tinkering with it, it's been having these irritating malfunctions, and it's driving people. Are you done? A weird, disgusting sound, something between a gargle and a bark, escapes his throat. Unbelievable. All I'm hearing is that you're in possession of some information that might help me solve this puzzle I was presented with. If that's the case, I'm gonna ask you to share it. I swear, you're absolutely irredeemable, you fucking garbage dump of a woman. How do I get through all the rubbish in your head to drive my point in? Don't you know who I am? Wow, what a pleasant individual. Oh, I know who you are. You are the person who had Callahan's place wired, which makes you a possible witness of sorts, or even a suspect. For Christ's sakes, woman, get real. Even if your accusations were correct, then who, pray tell, would you report them to? Do you even know what kind of people I answer to? No. Care to acquaint us? Is that really what you want? You want to know who pulls the strings? Give me 10 minutes and I can arrange a meeting. But this is your last chance to turn back. If you don't, I tell you now, you're going to be sorry. The big kahuna? Finally, now we're talking. Yes, the big kahuna. So this is your final answer, huh? Absolutely. Unbelievable. He takes out his phone and begins furiously typing. I relax in the seat. Finally, we're getting somewhere. It might be dangerous, yeah, but at least I will finally get a clue of what's going on. Hey, I'm just saying, this is the point of no return. My boss doesn't fuck around. In that case, you're going to beg him to take you in. Whatever. Keeps grumbling under his breath, but I'm not even listening. I just watch the streets go by. Until out of the blue, I experience a strong sense of foreboding. I first spot her in the corner of my eye. She's hovering right next to Kaiser with an expression that's impossible to discern. When she speaks, her voice is machine-like, yet otherworldly. Fine, we're 5 minutes away or so. Get the boys ready to give her the Mel Gibson special. The moment he puts away his phone, the silhouette disappears. We're 5 minutes away. Better start figuring out the ways you might prove yourself useful to the honcho. Oh, there is no honcho. Oh my god. Of course this motherfucker is setting me up. I need to get out of here now. I do the first thing that comes to mind. I grab the door handle and pull. He notices me scrambling and struggles to grab me. Hold up, stupid fucking... Glass breaking, thousands of loud thuds of something heavy hitting the asphalt, tires screeching. I think he grabbed me. I think he tried to pull me back in. I think we fell out of the limo. I think his body cushioned my fall. But I'm struggling to process what's going on. It's like I'm blanking out. When I come to, he's already attempting to get up, cursing under his breath. The limo has stopped a little further in, but whoever the driver is, he's not coming out. Fucking. When he stands up, he will be out for vengeance. He's an older vampire who knows how strong he is. I need something that will give me the advantage. Pepper spray, of course. It probably won't be as effective as it would be on a living person, but it's still worth a try. I lean towards the asshole, disarm the advice, aim towards his eyes, and unload the entire canister. It worked. It actually worked. I keep up with the offensive, punch him, kick him, throw him to the ground, pummel him, smash his head against the curb. I struggle to harm him in every way I can, like a frightened animal. I don't know how long it lasts. Might be 1 minute, might be eternity. The driver steps out of the limo to help his boss, but once he sees what I'm doing to him, he runs away in panic. Feels good. Feels absolutely horrible. Once I'm done, I sit on the curb and scream my lungs out to avoid crying. Then I look at him. He seems shocked, barely hanging on. I know what I've done was extremely stupid. I did hear how he's one of the most influential figures in the city. That's probably why he never expected to get his ass whooped, especially by someone like me. When he speaks again, his voice is pathetic, surprisingly close to a whimper. You pay. You fucking pay. You lost. Mislaid and abandoned property of a woman. He's unwell, talking nonsense. I approach him again. You wanted to have me whacked? What do you think, I'm stupid? You needed to be taught a lesson. Well, would you look at who ended up teaching who? Now talk. Tell me everything you know about Callahan's final death. All of it. Go to hell. You can fuck me up however badly you want. I'm still not going to tell you shit. You can try anything. There will be consequences. There will be retribution. My mouth is shut. He might be my last chance to solve the case, but if I don't force him to talk, he won't. There's a burgeoning thought in my mind, but it scares even me. Do I dare push him to the edge? Make him suffer until he speaks? Yeah. Fuck this guy. Uno momento. fuck yeah, fuck this guy. Well, I'm sure you will open your mouth if I do this. I put his shin against the curb. Wait, what? And kick with all my strength. The compound fracture. I barely managed to suppress my gag reflex. Feels like I'm dissociating. You fucking psycho. You fucking psychotic bitch. He's actually weeping like a child. It totally shatters the tough image he was trying to project earlier. Like, this is the first time anyone has ever used physical violence against him. What if it is? You either start talking or the other leg goes, then the hand, then I will get creative. I try to collect myself and put his other leg against the curb. I'll talk. I'll fucking talk. It connects. It's a light one, a sadistic feint. It still manages to get a pathetic whimper out of him. Then talk. But this had better be good. He looks at me with pure fury and begins to speak through clenched teeth. You wanna know who was in Callahan's office before he died? Little lady? Everyone. Fucking everyone and their mother was there. Vanderweyden, Aisling, Arturo, and Panhard. That Kimmer? There's no vowel after K. Douche motherfucker worked with his sidekick, all of them. And thought that the only way out was to pit all of them against each other, or to ally with every single one of them. Little did he know, it was all of their best interest for him to just fucking die. That's good. That's great. But who killed him? I have no fucking idea. That won't do. Once again, I put his leg in a potentially disastrous position. In response, he starts howling maniacally. You fucking sadist. You fucking monster woman. I really have no idea. Who kept complaining to you about me? Who was responsible for getting rid of the evidence? Everyone. Everyone did. Damn Callahan had dirt on everyone and antagonized everyone. So it took everyone fucking bring him down. All evidence is gone. Every theory is equally true, though none of it is. Don't you see, you fucking cunt? Everyone is complicit, but nobody is. Why the fuck do you think Sophie Langley is no longer around? Why is Torque no longer pretending to be revolutionary? Why are free agents involved? Why are they shutting you up tomorrow? Shutting me up? Who? Can't you connect with them? You dumb whore. What are you? Fuck. Somebody's about to get... Julia! I look back over my shoulder and see Kadir. Bloody hell, what is wrong with you? Kadir, you're out of control. This is why I didn't want you to get involved. I had a hunch. A hunch that the moment you get a whiff of true power, all brakes will be off. Bullshit. You're out of your damned mind. I should have you in for potential masquerade breach. Camarilla. Just let me explain myself. This ugly fucker tried to have me beaten, maybe even killed. Do you care about that? I have no idea, Sheriff. No idea. She's dangerous. Psychotic. Shut the fuck up. I can't control myself. I kick him where I know it will hurt him the most. My fucking leg. Stop this right now, you goddamn idiot. I freeze in place. I've never heard him use that tone with me. I will take care of you in a moment. In my car, Kaiser. In my car. Oh yeah, Kaiser. Hold on. I'm not done questioning him yet. It looks like there's a major conspiracy to... I'm gonna have to ask you to leave, and you're gonna be glad I leave it at that. Fucking Kadir. You idiot. If you do that, I'm gonna have to assume you're complicit. Oh shit. That's worth 2 strikes in my book. You don't want to risk a 3rd. Uh-oh. So that's that? Tell me, what was all of my footwork even for? We'll be seeing each other, little lady. Can you hear this? Go home, Julia. What? Go home. Fine, I will. But before I do, I take a quick peek into Kaiser's limo, still abandoned a little further down the street. I skipped the church visit again tonight. I want more time to finish this report. Who knows? Might be my final one. I want to spend more time with Dakota. Yeah, forget about the rest of the world. A lot happened tonight, but I can still manage to be at our apartment an hour earlier than usual. She should be glad. Sneak into the apartment as silently as possible, trying to surprise her. When I reach the bedroom, I see something unexpected. It hits me like a ton of bricks. At the beginning, I can't properly parse the sight. But when I finally understand what I'm looking at, it causes a wave of terror and disgust to swell up inside my chest. What the fuck? She's shocked to see me. Doesn't know what to do. She's like a deer in the headlights or a schoolgirl, poorly trying to hide her misdeeds from a teacher. You're early. Yes, I am. These are my clothes, Dakota. Those are my cigarettes. That's my jewelry on the table. Yeah, I was, and I'm pretty sure, God almighty, I thought I was just being neurotic whenever I noticed something dreadfully familiar in you. I can explain. Please do explain. Good 10 seconds of awkward silence pass. I can see her spending an eternity in her head. This isn't what it looks like. Oh my god, it is exactly what it looks like. I will just come out and say it. Dakota? Are you single white femaling me? It all makes sense now. No, come on, no. I thought I was the leech in this relationship. We watched that movie together. We made fun of Jennifer Jason Leigh together. Roommate stalking and imitating her own roommate. Ha ha ha. What a concept, right? But I was being fed on in a far more sinister way without knowing it. Don't be silly. Silly? I've never ever been this serious with you. So whenever she put on my makeup, whenever I used her as a mirror, was she always hyping me up because she wanted to live voraciously through me? So many little things make sense in retrospect. The little ways you kept modulating your speech after me. The weird ways our tastes were always compatible. Some of your art feeling so familiar. None of it would trigger any alarms by itself, and yet... She's as humanly embarrassed as possible. Julia. Listen. Don't fucking touch me. I can barely think of anything anymore. Anything more repulsive than being put on a pedestal like this. It's like the other person is begging me to perceive them as someone worse, if not outright subhuman. Don't be like this, just don't. You know, this would probably be infinitely more palatable if you talk to me like a person here and not like, I don't know, your fucking mommy. You know what? Fuck you. I've been locked in this apartment by myself because of all the pandemic shit going on. It's fucking me up. I know you have it hard right now, so I didn't want to bother you. Yeah, I was counting on you to ask about how I'm feeling. Babe, how is your work? How's your work-life balance? Aren't you feeling claustrophobic? Hey, is it just me, or is our drug supply weirdly shrinking too fast? But no, you were just too much of a self-centered bitch. You regularly suck me dry, and it's okay. But the moment I entertained the thought of taking something in return, I'm crossing a line? Oh no, I'm a member of an immortal elite secret society. It's so hard to cope, Dakota. Whenever I gracefully decide to visit our apartment, let's just do what I enjoy until the pain stops. Fuck you. Fuck you. Sincerely, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. There's nothing you can do but take. And you should have learned by now that just taking won't make you happy, you big dumb bitch. Stop. Just... I'm destined for better things than this. Get the fuck out of here. You disgust me. Dakota breaks down crying. She grabs a jacket and a purse, then runs out of the apartment. I don't try and stop her. I stand there for a short while in silence and then lock the door. You take her keys? I don't know. I don't know if I care. I desired for someone else, not for myself. For a way to open a different world, not to get locked back in mine. I collapse onto the soft bed. I smell her perfume. I always liked it, but now it makes me slightly nauseous. I try not to think of Dakota, think of Kaiser, think of Kadir, I think of Callahan. Oh, I think of Kaiser, I think of Kadir, I think of Callahan. No matter what I think of, I sense doom. I feel that I've just sealed my fate, whatever it may be. Everything fucking sucks. Back into the void. Back into the void. Back into the void. Or, I still have the option to go and do this. I need to rest. I want to do this. Fuck. I guess there's only an hour till sunup, so I can't go and do that. For me, it always starts with an image. An image which might be vaguely eerie or interesting, but usually not an image that would provoke particularly strong feelings by itself. Usually it hides a mystery, that much is correct. That mystery doesn't exist without a text, or more specifically, a context. Context is everything. One way or another, you need to process what you're looking at. Maybe that context will be something you've heard of, or maybe, although it's quite rare and pretty special, it will be your very own creative, captivating, complete interpretation. A ghost of an idea. Is this a half-forgotten memory of something unspeakably beautiful I will never, ever see again? Just a scene from a movie? A fragment of a music video? An animation? Maybe this really is the last thing Callahan ever saw in his own life. Warm sunbeams caressing his skin and turning it into ash. A giant ball of fire engulfing his body in flame from 93 million miles away. Is he terrified? Is he grateful? There's no will, no suicide note, no nothing. Instead, we can only count on what the local historians will write, presumably letting their biases shape the narrative one way or another. What am I looking at here? A horrible, laughable hall of mirrors. Creep whom I never, ever want to see again. A vampire much more despicable than myself. Or maybe someone who loved taking care of me and deserved to be cared for in return. Funny thing, whenever I was high as a kite, mentally lost in dimensions parallel to ours, she was my anchor, our shared history. My feelings for her were an anchor. Matthew McConaughey returning to his estranged daughter from the other side of the cosmos, from beyond the event horizon, guided by nothing but love. Then, whenever I got back to planet Earth, for a week or two I was haunted by a memory of that affection. It was the best possible version of myself toward her. But that haunting always refused to transfigure into something real. What gradually took its place were angry, disappointed thoughts. And among them, one thought that I was always trying to suppress. I need someone who'd know how to raise me up, spiritually. But all I have is a sycophant who's always working her ass off to lift me up without understanding what I need. It's hurting both of us, hurting us both. Having these words pop up in my head hurt me, because they had a ring of truth to them, but also because I knew there must be another narrative, a better narrative. I was just too stupid to find it. The story of my life. The story of my own life. I still have no idea what I think about this city. I had my the best city in the world phase, and I had just a playground for the wealthy fucktards phase, and now I'm in search of a better description. One day, probably, I will stumble upon like a piece of writing or a prestigious TV show scene that will contain just that. And suddenly, I will look at this place with new eyes. Or maybe I won't. It's like the frustrations I had back at Lodestar. All these words constantly trailing behind reality, trapping you in useless mindsets instead of bringing enlightenment. Fuck all those flashy writers whose main concern is furthering their own brand. Douchebags who present you with limited, pathetic, depressing realities where they are kings. Fuck them all to hell. We need words that will paint a brighter future for our eyes, before our eyes. But what if that can't be done without reinterpreting the past first? What if we haven't even defined the ills and threats correctly? Once again, my thoughts return to the same visual that has been tormenting me for almost every waking moment of this past week. A senseless demise devoid of any context, crime scene stripped of evidence, an image created by an unknown artist, designed to leave you dumbfounded. The investigation is over. All the possible avenues explored, all the non-testimonies are in, no concrete evidence found. The play is almost complete, the actors ready to leave the stage. It is what it is. I failed as a detective, maybe through no fault of my own, but again, it is what it is. This case, this scene, this picture never needed an investigator. From what I understand, all the people in charge ever wanted was a talented writer. What if a ghost of an idea? When I wake up, Dakota is still not here. I don't know how to feel about that, so I just don't. Kadir hasn't left any messages by the door. All that mad, huh? He will probably appeal to the court to take me off the case. And if half of the garbage Kaiser was spouting is correct, he shouldn't have much trouble convincing everyone. I look in the mirror and stare at my warped non-reflection. This place is upsetting. You need a change of scenery, girl. The depressing streets of a locked down New York City will do. Think of God. Maybe that's why I half-consciously picked the cathedral as my destination. I think of the silver cross adorning my chest, an empty signifier. Whenever someone asks me why I wear it, I hear a different story. I think of these silhouettes that I keep spotting from the corner of my eye. No, I don't even want to imagine what that means. I feel what it means, and it makes me nauseous enough. Think of my clan, so closely tied to the Catholic Church, the loveless marriage, so to speak, like, for example, one between my parents. I think about the great irony of the Sombra's truce, the Holy See. We are the ones who stay so close to the Lord's light, even though we're certain we will never, ever reach it. Some of us shadows have visions of comrades who departed this world recently, traveling through some abstract space, one that's disturbing and astonishing in equal measures. They almost reach whatever afterlife there is for our kind, but then get caught and consumed by a dark, monstrous silhouette. The rumor is that our antediluvian wasn't stopped by his final death. He's still out there, behind the shadows, taking revenge for our patricide, feeding on us like Saturn, as Dakota would say. Might not be factual, but it is an emotional truth. From joining the Camarilla to panically scrambling for any safe house, it's like our elders are solely motivated by fear. The sins of our fathers are catching up with them, and it's young kindred like me who are given responsibility to clean up their mess, with a constant sense of doom looming over the horizon. We don't talk about salvation anymore. We're just minimizing the impact of damnation. That's no way to live. Then again, maybe that's why they call it unlife. Shit, it's Benoit. What a shirt. Hello there, lost sheep. I'll have you know, this shepherd was extraordinarily patient in waiting for you. What are you doing here while the night is so young? Out for blood? Well, you're in luck. This place offers both the body and the blood. Body and blood. If missionaries learned their methods from pickup artists, they would all be like this guy. I'm not in the mood, you sorry-ass bum. Get the fuck away from me, or you're gonna be sorry. Oh my, something troubling you? If so, I can arrange a confession. Or, if you're in a hurry, keep in mind, the path from inner turmoil begins with a friendly ear. I've got one right here. I don't know how to say that. You want me to fuck you up, don't you? Don't you? Julia, as you should know by now, I always interpret this kind of response to reaching the divine as the devil stirring inside. Is that what it is, Julia? The liar and the father of lies got a hold on your soul? If so, give me a signal, even the smallest one. I'll do my best to spot it. Something swells up inside my chest. I recognize this feeling. The handbrake just broke, and I'm definitely not on level. Fuck, here we go. Listen, I've had enough, alright? Enough. Enough of your sanctimonious attitude, enough of your brazen lack of basic empathy, enough of your dumb, ugly fucking mug. You're a fucking singularity of stupidity. That is an amazing insult. Tastelessness and cringe. A singularity of stupidity. Ah, that's good. I've met all sorts of horrible shitheads and asshats this week, and somehow None of them got under my skin the way you do, you motherfucker. Like a goddamn Jehovah's Witness going from door to door, except you're always knocking on my fucking skull going, hey, do you know God exists? Have you heard that God exists? Like... Hold on, hold it right there. When did I ever say that God exists? What? I said, what makes you think I believe God exists? Oh, now you're just fucking with me. No, I'm serious. They sound serious. At least, I'm actually speechless. I think there's been some sort of silly misunderstanding that desperately needs to be cleared up. I'm all ears. I sure hope so, Julia. I feel like you must have ignored half of what I've been saying for you to reach these conclusions. Very well possible, actually. It usually takes 15 seconds of him talking for me to get me completely zoned out. So, to avoid any further mix-ups, I will go back to the beginning and explain the core of my religious beliefs. Okay, so, I love Catholic imagery. I cherish the tradition and lore. I adore the practices, the intricacies of the theology.
Who wants to play video games?
Hello. What's up? I am doing a read-through of Vampire the Masquerade: Shadows of New York. Oh, indeed. I'm not sure where I am in the game, but I've been doing this game for a while. So, I might be near the end. So spoilers beware. Assumed it was Bloodlines. Ah, not tonight. Pretty close. It's still Vampire the Masquerade. Actually, I had to reset my PC recently and lost my save file for Bloodlines. So I'm working my way off stream back up to the same point. It's no big deal. It'll take me like 2 hours to get there if I just speed through it. But this game is extremely graphic with a lot of profanity, but it's a visual novel. Very different.
You want some magic powers?
Magic powers for absolutely free. Why, thank you. Thank you for the follow. Twilight, or Twilight, Twilight Fall, Twilight Fall. Indeed. The main character, her name is Julia. She's a La Sombra. This is a Camarilla story in New York. I plan on playing the Anarch one after this. And she is investigating a murder of some Anarch bigwig that apparently the Camarilla had something to do with. Were you playing Bloodlines tonight? Or are you finished that now? Ah, there you go. Actually, this is my first time playing this in like 2 months. So a bit of the story has escaped me. Ah, nice. Excellent. Yeah, in my playthrough, I just gotten to downtown. So I'll probably stream tomorrow night with Bloodlines, picking up from there. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything for you. So, thanks for stopping by. and I'll catch you soon. Later. Yeah, the writing is great. There's some things that I don't say on stream that are extremely harsh, to put it lightly, but I read almost everything. All right, let's continue. She definitely did. Does that mean I believe that one day I will see the big dad in the sky? Forgive me, Lord, but I don't think so. Doesn't sound very likely, especially for a bloodthirsty creature of the night. So, that's what this is about? Fun imagery? That's overly simplified, but yes, I suppose you could say that. Motherfucker, you ain't Catholic. You're just a weirdo cosplayer. Says a non-practitioner who still wears a cross. Yeah, but I don't shove it down people's throats for fun in my spare time. I'm simply trying to share the joys of religion, the joys religion has brought to my own life with others. What joys? Oh, where to start when there are so many? The joy of having plainly understandable rules to follow, the joy of having a structure to your life, the joy of always knowing where to find people who share your values. Above all, it's the joys of being in aristocracy, surrounding oneself with exquisite, luxurious architecture, beautiful classical music, ornate rituals formalizing our actions and relationships. A pursuit of virtue separating you from the masses, the hierarchies, the communities, all serving an idea greater than themselves. It's like monarchy or some Camarilla traditions, but not as gauche. So that's what it was. You saw pretty paintings and buildings and thought, hell yeah, I want in. And then you just decided what they mean to you? Oh, don't get me wrong, it's real faith that brought me to the fold, but eventually I willed down this religion to its core, to what interests me. Unbelievable. But don't think for a second I wasn't empathetic when I was trying to convert you. You are the embodiment of existential despair surrounding us. The one that people usually try to drown out with drugs, sex, work, Netflix. Pick your poison. All of them. Temporary copes. Empty yourself. Kill your ego. Get a routine. Join a community. Ground your morality in something tangible. Start perceiving yourself as a part of something greater. All of it good advice by itself, but codified in an appealing otherworldly aesthetic. One that keeps the beast at bay. When you're almost fitting in to the way you are. What's there to hate? Unbelievable. You're a goddamn lunatic. He looks to the sky. Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. Stop that. Your entire ideology is just aesthetics, you fucking loon. How exactly do I differ from anyone else nowadays in this regard? Stop arguing semantics. No, you stop. Just look at yourself. A privileged burnout who refuses to invest herself in anything. Only started committing to anything when, for once in your life, you were forced into a politically charged, dangerous task. Once it's over, you'll be back to being an aimless brat. Desire to murder increases. Ever since World War II, I have been watching every person and every ideal I cared about wither and disappear. That's the source of my pain. That's the reason I am what I am. The source of your pain? A thing that defines you? People have been mean to you. Fuck off. People in third world countries keep their heads high while suffering from every sort of horror, but you have a complete mental breakdown every time you remember you have mommy issues. Wow, classy. Oh, don't act like you have the high ground here, you oblivious sadist. All I'm saying is everyone has a different framework, a different lens to view their suffering through. Yes, and if there's one thing abandoning your humanity should have shown you, is that kind frameworks are not enough. Petty vendettas, childish romances, pointless power struggles, the dumb gamble that's chasing a successful career. Mommy and daddy issues? Sure, why not? Pain and pleasure dictate everything. Everyone wants something bigger than this. They want to escape from this drudgery. They want psychedelia, but a minute. They want to stare at God's face, even if he does not exist. And you can show them how. Accept the cross you're wearing into your heart, Julia. Accept it. Creepy fucker. Just accept it. Alright, that will be enough, Benoit. The mood changes in an instant. The sight of Father Leonard takes us both aback. Father, what are you doing here so early? You two are arguing so loudly, I had to come out and check. Even if with all the panic on the TV these days, simply walking outside feels like marching into a war zone. Yeah, I'm sorry. You should be. I was willing to turn a blind eye to your quirks because I believe you have... Excuse me. Oh my god, text. Because I believe you have your heart in the right place, mostly. But I'm very disappointed in the way you approach folks in need. Right now, Benoit Segal is displaying the confidence of a scolded teacher's favorite. But I was just trying to guide her, to set her on the right path. I know, Benoit. I know. That's the problem. The sacristy. Oh, sacristy is open. Please head there right now. As an area of a church. We need to have a long talk. Get me some coffee if you wish. But Benoit. He slowly slinks away, looking defeated, deflated, debased. I burn the moment into my retinas, etch it onto my soul, kind of hoping I'll never have to see him again, and this is how I'll remember him. Father Leonard watches him closely until he disappears from sight, then turns to me. I feel sorry for him. I keep hoping that he might find some basic empathy through faith, but all I've done thus far is let him leave you at the end of your tether. Yeah, that's some faith he has. Are you okay with all the bullshit that he's spouting? I don't exactly support it, but I don't reject it. It's like attrition and contrition, imperfect and perfect repentance, you know? One is focused on a relationship with God, the other selfish and focused on personal gain. But both of them work. Yeah, but doesn't this strike you as completely missing the point? A bit, but purely secular takes on Christ's teachings as are nothing. But purely secular, oh my god, text, slow down. Thank you. Purely secular takes on Christ's teachings are nothing new. Pascal's wager is a boring example, but have you by chance read Bulgakov's The Master and Margarita? Delicious. Sure. Back in Poland, every teen trying to look intellectual online loved to repeat that joke about the talking cat who swears he'd never pour vodka for a lady because women deserve pure alcohol. Whoa, that's a cultural context that I definitely don't understand. That's one takeaway from the novel, I suppose. I read it as a moving depiction of Christ, who's not a divine being. Stripped of mythic qualities, but open for transcendence, Jesus and Satan understood as powerful forces battling within us. Would have to read it again. Been too long. Sounds nice, though. Oh, Vodka's watered down. Interesting. Also, I had never heard of that book, so I stretch lazily and take out another smoke. Leonard watches me closely before speaking up again. Julia. 4 hours from now, there's going to be a meeting in the Elysium, the big finale of Celebrations of Power. Everyone will be there, but they were counting on you to not show up. The good sheriff plans to present the results of the investigation in your stead. It's a simple, rude strategy. Might work, but begs to be countered with an outrageous tactic. Take it as you will. The game is about to end. Foreshadowing. Momentarily, I'm left dumbfounded. All it can muster is an eloquent... Eh? Oh, don't ask me. I'm just the messenger. Who relayed the message to you then? A good friend, a cautious friend, wouldn't be able to tell you more than that even if you forced me to. Well, shit. This is the moment that might decide the rest of my days. What would you do in my place, Father? When I was faced with a dilemma that would shape the rest of my life, the world felt too big and scary and impossible to understand. So I simply escaped from that choice into the seminary. Yeah, if that's your idea of good advice, I'm gonna have to ask you to shove it. I would expect nothing less. Would you regret it? Regret what? Kind of shady, but don't seem like a bad guy. Still, you have to accept the people above you are responsible for some horrible things. If our superiors' acts count as our own sins, then on the face of it, probably half the people in this world are irredeemable. Clever, but not a real answer. And being a low-level grunt for assholes you find wholly objectionable is no way to live. I don't know, is it? I finish the smoke in silence. I have to go. Don't know if and when we'll see each other again, but when that happens, I probably won't be the same old me. Of course. But before I leave to scold Benoit, let me say one more thing. Yeah? These are difficult times. My parishioners keep calling me. The things people are going through, they might never admit it, but if this keeps up, it will cause horrifying, invisible damage to this nation. A dreadful darkness is killing us all, little by little. And like every powerful evil, it manifests itself little by little. And yet, sinful as it may be, I confess to being strangely excited. For a moment, we're seeing this suffocating normal disappear. This is the time to dream a new world. This is the time to dream a new world is possible? Oh. Yeah, okay. Walk these empty streets, Julia. Remember how the city feels right now. Bask in its shadows and uncertainties. After the apocalypse comes the great rebirth. The Amici Noctis await your next report with great curiosity. I give him a nod and sprint away. Now I know what I must do. Hey Moon, my lone constant companion. When I moved here for good from, you know, the old country, you were the only close friend who kept me company. Actually a full moon tonight. Never felt in the right place back there. Never felt in the right place here. Especially now, when I'm not quite alive, not quite dead. Not that Slavic, not that American. But maybe it's about time I finally carve out some space for myself. It's been a long road, hasn't it? Wish me luck. Well, this seems like an appropriate place to pause the story, as it feels like it's about to end. So, I will be back tomorrow night to potentially finish this story, and then maybe continue Bloodlines. All vampire, all the time. Only vampire content. And then we'll see what other things I can sink my teeth into. I know Vegan Pork, you're not here, but thank you for the raid. Always a pleasure when you stop by. And all the people that came. Thank you, Twilitfall. Appreciate another VtM fan. Always happy to talk shop about Vampire the Masquerade and all of its delights and horrors. So until next time, I will see you all later. Bye-bye.